Right now, we are in the middle of a technological shift so huge, it's completely reshaping the workforce across the entire globe, and at a speed we've literally never seen before. Artificial intelligence, it isn't some sci-fi movie anymore. It's here, and it's changing the very definition of what a job even is. The scale of this thing is just staggering. So just how big are we talking? Well, according to the World Economic Forum, by 2030, nearly 1 billion people will need to be reskilled because of AI. I mean, just let that number sink in. 1 billion. That's more than a quarter of all workers on the entire planet. This isn't just some minor software update. It's a fundamental rewiring of the skills we all need to have. So how in the world are we supposed to think about all this? Honestly, the best way to frame it is like a two-sided coin. On one side, you've got the disruption, the real honest fear that jobs are going to disappear and our skills will be useless. But then you flip it over, and there's this incredible opportunity, the potential for brand new jobs and a new wave of creativity. So let's dive in and look at both sides of that coin, starting with the one that, let's be honest, causes the most anxiety. To really get a handle on what's at stake, a lot of experts have started calling this change a skills earthquake. And that's a perfect metaphor, right? It just captures that sudden, massive, structural change that's happening right underneath our feet. The ground is shifting, and the professional world we thought we knew is being changed for good. This quote from the World Economic Forum just nails it. For companies, for individuals, for all of us, adapting isn't just a good idea, it's a strategic imperative. The ability to learn, to reskill, to upskill, that's going to be the line in the sand between those who thrive in this new world and those who get left behind. Okay, so let's start with that first side of the coin, the one that gets all the scary headlines, disruption. And it's really important to acknowledge that the anxiety people are feeling isn't just made up. It's based on very real, very tangible things that are already happening today. And this chart shows you exactly what I mean. A recent survey from the Society of Authors found that generative AI is already hitting creative professionals right in the wallet. More than a third of translators and over a quarter of illustrators say they have already lost work directly to AI. This isn't some far-off prediction for the future. This is happening right now. And you see, the issue here goes way deeper than just lost income. The concerns are profound. Creatives are worried about their unique art styles, even their voices, being copied by an AI without their consent. They're worried about a future where creative work becomes lower quality, less diverse, and about the very value of human-made art going down. It's a huge question about what we value. But that's only one side of the story. Now, let's flip the coin. Because for every job being disrupted, there are others being supercharged, transformed, and in some cases, created completely out of thin air. This is the side of opportunity. So take administrative professionals. A lot of people predicted that automation would just wipe these roles out completely. But what's actually happening is an evolution. Yeah, AI is automating the repetitive stuff, but that's freeing up admins to do more strategic work. They're becoming these hybrid pros who mix tech skills, project management, and good old-fashioned people skills. And this is perfectly captured in the story of Jane. Here's an experienced executive assistant, and she was worried. She felt her skills were getting old. But instead of fighting the change, she leaned right into it. She took a temp job just to learn new tech. She used free online courses to upskill on her own time. And get this, in just 6 months, she wasn't just an assistant anymore. She was an operations coordinator leading entire system rollouts. Her story is the perfect playbook for how to adapt and win. And hey, what about those creative fields we just saw were getting hit so hard? Well, guess what? The coin flips here too. A whole new set of hybrid creative jobs is popping up. Roles like AI music creator or AI art specialist, these jobs didn't even exist a couple of years ago. These folks aren't being replaced by AI. They are the ones learning how to use it as an incredibly powerful new creative partner. Now, to really see both sides of this coin, the threat and the promise, playing out in a single industry, let's look at a case study. The incredibly complex world of autonomous vehicles. It is the perfect microcosm of everything we've been talking about. On the surface, the promise is just huge. Look at this idea for autonomous trucking. These things could drive 24/7, no sleep breaks needed, making everything faster and more efficient. A cross-country trip that takes a human driver 5 days, an AI truck could do it in 2. The potential economic gains are just off the charts. But look, getting to that fully autonomous future isn't like flipping a switch. It's a step-by-step journey. We're moving from level 0, that's just your regular car, all the way up to level 5, which is complete hands-off automation.
Right now, the real action and the real debate is happening around this jump to level 4, where the truck can handle things like long-haul highway driving all by itself.
And right here, this is our two-sided coin in a single slide. The threat? It's crystal clear. Millions of professional driving jobs are at risk. But the opportunity? The creation of jobs that have never existed before. We're talking about the remote supervisor. So instead of a driver in every cab, you have one highly skilled person in a control center monitoring a whole fleet of trucks. Kind of like an air traffic controller, but for the highway.
This leads to a massive question, though. The tech might be moving at lightning speed, but what about everything else? What happens when our laws, our insurance companies, and our roads can't keep up with how fast the technology is changing?
And it turns out the biggest roadblocks aren't always about the tech, they're about managing risk. I mean, think about it. Who's legally responsible in a crash? How do you write laws that work in California and in Texas? And maybe the biggest one of all, how do you get people to actually trust these things? These are the complicated real-world problems that are slowing the whole thing down. Okay, so we've looked at the disruption, we've looked at the opportunity, and we've looked at the complex reality of it all. So what does this mean for you? Let's switch gears and talk about a clear, actionable strategy for how you can navigate this new world and set yourself up for success.
Here are 4 concrete things you can do. 1. Become a learning machine. Use online resources to constantly upskill. 2. Get certified. Prove you have the skills companies are looking for. 3. Get connected. Join online groups in your field to see what's coming next. And 4, and this is probably the most important one, be adaptable. Embrace the change and focus on those timeless skills, like problem solving and communication, that an AI can't replicate.
You know, when you boil it all down, it really comes to this one simple truth. In a world that's changing this fast, the single most valuable skill you can have is the ability to learn. Lifelong learning isn't just a nice to have anymore. It's the baseline requirement for a successful career. So let's end by completely reframing this conversation. The old question was all about fear. Will AI take my job? The new question, the better question, is about empowerment and opportunity. How am I going to use AI to do my job better than I ever could before? The future of your career really depends on how you choose to answer that question.